So, how many movies has Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro collaborated in? And again, that's for this database. The instructions are right here. It would be best to have them handy, but I will run through it in the demonstration. From our Access Database work area, we are going to click on Create. We are going to select Query Design. And now we are going to drag the tables from the left to the right. And notice how as soon as I move that movies table, all of the ERD diagram relationships that we created just pop up. Now, normally you can just move over the tables that you're going to use on the query. I've brought them all over because, I mean, we only have 4 tables, so. All right, let's build the query. First, we're going to select director's name. So how many movies has Martin Scorsese? So he's the director. We are going to select director name. So in the director table, there's a name field. Double click on it and it will pop it down here in the builder. Next is actor's name. So, how many movies has Martin Scorsese and actor Robert De Niro starred in? And so here is a name field in the lead actor table. You can double click it or you can click and drag and drop it. Either way works. And then finally, you're going to need something to count. And in this case, we're going to count the actual names of the movies. So under here, the name of the movie is the title. So we are going to double click on title and it will pop up here. Now, when it comes to building queries, when you make a after this point, when you kind of get your primary field settled in, what you want to do is you actually want to run the query. So you will make a change and then run, change and then run, change and then run, because it's really the safest way to do that. And by safe, I mean if you make too many changes all at once and you run the query and you get an error or you get a result that you don't like or didn't expect, you won't be able to undo it if you made too many changes. So if you do one change at a time, change and then run, change and then run. If you made a mistake, you can immediately identify where that mistake came from. So let's get a baseline here. Let's see if our query actually works. We're going to click on run, which is this little exclamation mark. And I see a bunch of movie titles. I see a bunch of lead actors and a bunch of directors, and not in that order. Okay, so director, lead actor, and title. Okay, that's the whole database is technically on our screen. Now, what we need to do is start to filter out this data. So going back into the design view here, we are going to start to add some criteria. The first one is director, and the criteria is going to be we want to just see Martin Scorsese. So I'm going to put in quotes because it's a short text field, and I'm going to write Martin Scorsese, end quote. And it has to be spelled exactly the same way as it is in the database. Click run. And now I see 3 different films, The Departed, Goodfellas, and Casino, in which in which Martin Scorsese had directed. However, that doesn't answer our query because we still have some work to do. The results have Leonardo DiCaprio in it as well as Robert De Niro. So we're going to go back to the design view. And we are going to then add the lead actor name. So we're going to do quotes, Robert De Niro, Deniro, no space in between D and Nero. We're going to run it because we made a change and there is an error. We did not get the results we wanted. What do we do? Let's go back and let's take a look at our queries here. We know when we made a change to Martin Scorsese here in the director name, it worked. But as soon as we added Robert De Niro's name, something went awry. And let's try this. Let's try putting a space between DE and NIRO. If you want, we can capitalize it too. Okay, so now we have Robert De Niro with a space in between, and let's give it a run. Now it seems to be working. So, as I stated earlier, every time you put a criteria in with a name or some sort of word, it has to be spelled correctly, and every single space or special character has to be accounted for. So in this case, De Niro as one word did not work. We had to actually put a little space in between the two. Now we can tell that there's two results, but we're going to take it up a notch. We're going to go up here to this totals button right here, click on it, and then underneath the title, we are going to select this cell right here, select this pull down and do count. And then as we mouse off here, you can see that the total number of movies that in this database that Martin Scorsese, the director, and Robert De Niro, the lead actor, starred in is two. Click on this little X. Yes, we want to save this, and we'll call it Scorsese and De Niro. I'll put a space. I'm sorry, De Niro movies. And the query now appears here in the left-hand side. We can click on it and run it anytime we want.